Welcome to today's explainer. So, have you ever stepped outside on a crisp, clear night, looked up at a massive sea of stars, and just felt totally overwhelmed by how big the universe really is? We've all been there. Today, we're going on a cosmic zoom, starting from the explosive, wild origins of outer space and zooming all the way down to the quiet, powerful depths of your own mind. Here is a big question for you. What gives your life meaning? Is it your friends? Your art? Standing up for what's right? Or hey, maybe you just feel a bit lost right now, kind of wandering through school or life, wondering if there's some hidden instruction manual you somehow missed. Let's actually explore that exact feeling. You know, for thousands of years, humans have tried to map out existence just to feel a little more grounded. Take the ancient Norse world tree, for example. Without telescopes or modern science, ancient peoples invented highly detailed epic stories where everything they observed fit perfectly together, almost like a giant puzzle. It was their way of finding order in the middle of chaos. Let's dive into Section 1. How did everything begin? Modern astrophysics tells us that about 13.8 billion years ago, absolutely everything in our universe was packed into one incredibly tiny, super dense dot, which then exploded outward. But here is the amazing part. Thousands of years before we ever had telescopes, ancient Vedic thinkers in India described creation almost the exact same way, as Hiranyagarbha, a golden cosmic egg holding all of existence, which eventually burst open. And honestly, the connection doesn't stop there. The Big Bang left behind a faint energy signature. Think of it kind of like cosmic Wi-Fi static, echoing across the entire universe. In ancient Vedic thought, creation also begins with a fundamental vibration, the primal sound of Om. Both modern physicists and ancient philosophers basically agree. The universe began with a giant echoing hum. Human imagination has always gone to some pretty wild lengths to understand these origins. In this ancient cosmology, the Earth rests on 4 giant elephants who are standing on a massive turtle, all perfectly balanced on a divine cobra. Now, while this isn't exactly what you'll see through a telescope today, it beautifully shows humanity's deep, timeless desire to make sense of our place in space. Which brings us to Section 2. You are the universe. The ancient Indian texts, known as the Upanishads, introduce 2 massive, game-changing ideas. First is Atman, that is the true, pure consciousness inside you. And second is Brahman, the ultimate reality of the whole universe. Think of Brahman as the ultimate cosmic internet and Atman as your personal Wi-Fi connection. The truly revolutionary teaching here? They are actually the exact same thing. This leads us to a super famous ancient saying, Tat Tavamasi, which translates to that you are. Take a second to really let that sink in. The you listening to this right now is deeply, permanently plugged right into the ultimate fabric of the universe. Think of it like this. A wave isn't somehow separate from the ocean, right? Even when you feel entirely alone, maybe struggling with the daily pressures of school, your job, or even social media, you are never truly isolated. You are a fundamental living piece of the reality that surrounds you. Moving right along to Section 3, designing your own essence. So, for a really long time, people believed in something called essentialism. That's the idea that you were born with a specific, hardwired purpose, kind of like a character in a video game who can only do one job. But a philosophical movement called Existentialism completely flipped the script. It says you exist first, and then it is entirely up to you to customize your avatar and build your own meaning from scratch. The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre summed this up perfectly when he said, "Existence precedes essence." You arrive in this world with no predetermined path that you are strictly supposed to follow. Now, I know that might sound a little bit scary at first, but actually, it's your ultimate creative superpower. It means you hold the pen. You get to write your own life script. Existentialists call this rule-free universe the absurd. Now, that doesn't mean life is silly or a joke. It describes that heavy feeling of shouting into the universe, looking for answers, and getting total silence in return. If you've ever felt completely lost, just wondering why life isn't giving you a clear sign, you've definitely felt the absurd. We are totally free from strict cosmic rules. Because there are 0 cosmic rules, Sartre actually said we are condemned to be free. It's a radical, shocking kind of freedom. Because if you want your world to have justice, order, or love, the universe isn't going to just hand it to you. You have to step up and create it yourself. It is 100% up to you to build the meaning you want to see.
This takes us to Section 4, the power of self-awareness.
To write your own life story, you're going to need an inner compass, and luckily, modern psychology gives us some fantastic tools to build one. Just 10 minutes of daily mindfulness can help you regulate your emotions when things get stressful. Journaling lets you figure out who you really are when nobody else is watching. You could even make a question jar to spark some deep conversations with friends or family. And above all, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you stumble, because we all do. All of this builds toward healthy self-esteem, which really just means having a strong sense of self-worth. It's about understanding and accepting your weaknesses while totally celebrating your strengths. True self-esteem is recognizing the equal, inborn value of all people. And yes, that includes you. You absolutely do not have to be perfect to be incredibly meaningful. What's really fascinating is that this modern psychological journey beautifully mirrors an ancient 3-step method straight from the Upanishads. Step 1 is Shravana, hearing and absorbing the truth. Step 2 is Manana, actively questioning and reflecting on what you just heard. And finally, Step 3 is Nididhyasana, deeply meditating on it until you realize it inwardly and actually put it into action. And finally, Section 5, Questions for Self-Discovery. Take a deep breath and just gently ask yourself right now, when do I feel most like my authentic self? Is it when you're creating some kind of art, helping out a friend, or maybe when you're just outside, alone in nature? Pinpointing that feeling is your very first step in building your unique essence. Remember, the universe is a beautiful, completely open canvas. It doesn't have a pre-assigned meaning, which means you are the one holding the brush. So what meaning will you choose to give your life today? You have the ultimate power to define your path right now, regardless of what anybody else expects of you. I'll leave you with this final thought. You are not separate from reality, yet you are completely free to shape it. You are literally the architect of your own purpose. So as you step out into the world today as the creator of your own essence, I have to ask, how will you use your radical freedom?